We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
We're proud of our culture, one nation, one team.
Jenny and Holmes is proud to be part of the team behind New Zealand's Olympic dream. As our athletes give their all to earn the fern in Tokyo, Jenny is with them all the way.
We're proud to own our Jenny and Home. We're proud to own our Jenny and Home.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. With a real heart and voice, say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Well, kia ora and welcome everyone back to the 2021 New Zealand Cross Country Champs. As you can see on screen, the weather has turned to custard, shall we say. We had a squall earlier this morning and another band of rain has just arrived just in time for the under-16s men and under-16s women race. So this is the 4K race, the two-lapper, and you can see some of the senior athletes getting ready for their race, which is set to go at 10 to 2. But at 20 past 1 will be the under-16s. So both the boys and girls running together, and I'm sure some of those girls are and the boys are thinking, wow, that was perfect timing. The weather just arrived. So my name is Hayden Sherman. I'm going to be calling you through the action with these last two events to come here at the 2021 New Zealand Cross Country Champs here at the Chisholm Links in Dunedin. And with me in the commentary booth is Dick Taylor, who now is based just up the coast, and the famed distance runner from the 1974 Commonwealth Games, the champion in the 10,000 metres. So, Dick, welcome to the commentary booth. Great to have your company. We've probably got the warmest seat in the house.
I was very pleased when I got told to come inside to do this, so getting me out of the rain. yeah, nice to be here. Yeah.
Now, you live not far from here, just a little ways up the coast?
Yeah, half an hour out of Dunedin, out of Waikawaiti, just right by the beach, and I spend a lot of time walking on the beach and talking to seagulls. It's a nice wee town, probably better climate than Dunedin. The sun's probably shining out there at the moment.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Now, for those who don't know, Dick, maybe the younger audiences in the crowd, that 74 10,000 metres is one of the legendary moments in New Zealand distance running, and it'd be great to sort of pick your brain and hear more about that. Going into that race, did you feel like you had a chance at the win?
Well, I'd probably trained the hardest I'd ever trained, because today's bringing back old memories. 1973, I won the New Zealand Cross Country in Christchurch. Athlete was coaching me at the time, and he told me to do something in that race that no coach would ever tell an athlete. He said, when the gun goes, I want you to go as fast as you can for as long as you can. And I was thinking, well, I'm going to fall over. And he said, what'll happen, you'll struggle with your breathing, but keep pushing yourself, and you'll get cramp in the stomach, you'll get pains in the chest, your arms will get wobbly, your legs will get wobbly, but just keep pushing yourself. But then you'll get blurred vision. That means you're about to collapse. So at that stage, I'd ask you to ease. So I remember that bit. So I put probably 200 to 300 metres on the field.
Wow.
And no one went with me. And then he believed my recovery is so good. So once I eased off, the field never got me. They got within 200 metres, but that was it.
So all those miles of conditioning the body to building that engine so you can really flush out that fatigue and get back to a state where the vision's no longer blurry.
Oh, very much so. And he just believed I had such a good recovery rate, and he knew
okay.
In those days, I was running 100 mile a week and doing 200 press-ups a day. And then after the cross country in August of '73, he sent me to Blenheim to do a build-up for the games, and he told me to do 200 mile a week and 500 press-ups a day.
Okay, just double it.
So I doubled it, and I was a fit athlete, but I lost a stone in weight over the next 3 months. But then when I stepped on the track, it was right. The work he'd put into me, I stepped on the track, and a lot of people hadn't seen me since the New Zealand cross country. They knew I'd run well that day.
Yes.
But to think I was a stone lighter when I stepped on the track at Kerry too, they just couldn't believe the same person was a stone lighter.
Amazing.
And you know, I just won the New Zealand cross country. So
wow.
Yeah.
And you know, we know all about Lydiard's keenness for work and logging the miles, particularly in that early base phase. But the press ups, tell me about. Was this Arthur's idea for the press ups, or was this something that just you did to keep?
Something I always did, I think. But Arthur said it'll be quite good. It'll sort of strengthen your shoulders and stomach, particularly stomach and back.
Yep.
And it'll
it's
help
a core
you
exercise.
do that. And you know, there's no weights or anything like that. You're just a natural exercise to do. So, and I found a bit of a challenge to be able to do that. And
500 a day.
Yeah.
While you're running 200 miles a week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's impressive.
I was permanently buggered. I could sleep standing up. I was that buggered all the time. You know.
Would you do 500 in one sort of set, or would you break them up
I
throughout
do
the day?
set to 20 one day,
Yep.
and sets of 50 the next, and then sets of 100 the next. So it's a bit of a
So 100 straight press ups. In one.
yeah. But I had 5 sessions for the day, so it wasn't so bad. But then he made me. He said, "You get bored doing that, so when you're at home, go into different bedrooms to do your press ups. Then go outside, go out the back of the house. If you're driving anywhere, stop at in a rest area and get out and do it. Just always do it somewhere different. So it makes it more interesting, which I did do. Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I would love when the senior men and senior women on screen there, if we could convince them to do a little press up competition once the race is done, maybe for extra bragging rights.
Yeah, it could be right too. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And so that New Zealand cross performance in '73, that am I right in saying that qualified you for the World Cross team?
No, I'd already been to the World Cross Country Champs.
Right.
I got 12th in the trial. That was
and that was
early
71? 73.
Yeah, 73.
Okay. Yeah.
I got 12th in the trials, but I still managed to make the team. Whether 2 people pulled out or 2 people got injured.
Right.
So I got in 12th in the trials and went to England. I got 12th in the British cross country. Yeah. And then I got 12th in the world.
Wow.
So things were starting. My improvements were starting. Then winning the New Zealand cross country. And I've been doing some good road racing and that. So the journey, I'd gone up another notch, and then Lydia wanted to put me up another notch, which he did, thank goodness.
Wow. And were you the top performed Kiwi at that World Cross, coming 12th?
No, Rod Dixon.
Right.
I think he finished 3rd, I think.
Yeah.
So there was some good people in there, but
yeah,
you know, I enjoyed running in a World Cross Country Champs, and particularly British Champs too, because there's about 1,400 or 1,500 starters in the British Champs.
Absolutely.
That was incredible, yeah.
Yeah, and so...
And I think David Bedford won that.
Wow.
Or Dixon might have beaten Bedford.
Yeah.
So that's when I met Bedford way back then.
Yeah, all those the big names from the 70s and into the 80s.
So, yeah.
And so, you know, you've sort of made your name in the 10,000 metres, but what did cross country mean to you? For all those people watching at home, I'm sure you would have done many junior races and come up through the ranks.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, ran a lot of cross country at Timaru Boys High, and then after I left school, I ran Otago here, and I represented Otago. Won Otago. It must have been '73. I won the Otago cross country.
Yeah.
And I've been placed in Otago cross countries. And Lydia, part of the tradition of New Zealand track and field, was you ran cross country. That was just what you did, and then road racing, and then do your build up ready for track and the track season started.
Now, for those who have just tuned in, on screen there you can see we're waiting for the start of the under-16s boys and girls, and you can see them all coming out from under the shelter. So we've had a little delay as we've just allowed this band of weather to just come through and pick up the remnants of banners and cones and flags and things that have blown all over the course. So all is well here at Chisholm Links, and our athletes are just going through their strides to keep warm. You can see some people still got their jumpers on, which is a good move. It's definitely not tropical conditions, you'd say, but from what we're told, it's supposed to get even colder tomorrow. So let me run through the start list. For the girls under 16, we've got Grace Meredith, Zara Pomfret, Sophie Robb, Alyssa Buchan, Charlotte Childs, Bryn Gordon, Isabel Harrison, Elspeth McGuinness, Talia Pillow, Courtney Fitzgibbon, Mackenzie Napier, Bronwyn Rees-Jones, Bridie Ristio, Anya Rhodes, Nicole Green, Kimberly Everson, Sienna McClay, Renee Carey, Letizia Hay, Bo Ritchie, Lily Bellevue, Gabrielle Healy, Jessica McKenzie, and Maria Revelant. So there we can see them all on the start line, trying to keep warm. I imagine about a K or two into this 4K race, they'll be plenty warm enough. And here they go, the 2021 New Zealand Cross Country Champs. The under 16 boys, under 16 girls head off. They've been itching to go. We had a little bit of band of weather that came through. That's now gone. We're running in dry conditions, certainly dry as rain is concerned, but maybe just a little bit more wet underfoot than what it has been throughout the day. So there we see our Wellington Scottish athlete Ben Brunner taking out the lead early on, as well as Jack Snedden. So let me run through the start list for the boys. We've got Jack Erickson, Maxis Milfers, Oscar Munro, Widemu Namotu, Jack Snedden, Brooke Yu, Henry Church, Daniel Prescott, Angus Sevier, Cooper Whiteman, Seth Mahoney, Tommy Earl, Camden Burge, Quinn Burge, Charlie Light, Oliver Lodge, Angus Lowe, Harry Summers, Thomas Collard, Jude Digger, Caleb Diprose, Lucas Huia, James McLeay, and Ben Brunner, who we saw on the front. So looking like it's nice and packed nice and tight. Now, Dick Taylor, have you got any tips? There's obviously a few little hills to encounter here, both up and down, but now they're going to particularly one of the key climbs. How do you like to recommend athletes to attack these hills?
Well, I think that you got to keep in contact with your opposition and never be afraid to really just push yourself a wee bit towards the top of the hills, because you recover once you get over the top. So I think a lot of people sort of worry about getting up the hill, particularly if things get really a bit tough.
Yeah,
you should just keep digging in, because you will recover once you get over the top of it. But it's a lovely course. I'm so impressed with it.
It's beautiful, and I was talking to the club manager earlier and saying it's one of those courses that as a runner you'd run by and think, oh, I might do my fartlek session there later in the week if I can squeeze in and not get kicked off.
Yep.
So we're certainly grateful to the golfers giving up their course for the day and allowing us runners to enjoy these beautiful undulations. And it's a links course, so it's sandy underfoot, which makes it good drainage, which is, he was saying they can pretty much play here 365 days of the year.
Yeah, I think it is. And I salute the golfers too. A lot of them probably be quite happy sitting at home watching TV than being out. But I mean, good on them doing that. And it is a good course. I remember years ago, back in the 60s, 70s, we used to do a little training here. But we always respected the golfers, kept out of the way. But it was a good place to do fartlek training and hill bouncing. Yeah, so bring back old memories, seeing people actually having a national cross country here, which I think is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
So as we see our runners coming through, I think that was Bryn Gordon and Bo Ritchie there leading out the women at this stage. So there's that good downhill section, and we've got a good little pack of boys. Remember, this is a 4K course, so they're about 1K through the race so far, and there we've got a pack of 9 of them all up the front running together, and this sets for an exciting race. Just 2 boys there just off the pace of that front pack. And then it shouldn't be too far back to our leading women. So in that front pack of boys, we've got Jack Erickson wearing number 115, Ben Brunner of Wellington Scottish in 138. Then we've also got Angus Sevier, Daniel Prescott, Jack Snedden. Now I can tell you that Angus Sevier is the South Island cross country champ and Canterbury champ. He's the New Zealand Secondary Schools junior cross country champion. So he's certainly one man to keep an eye on, wearing number 123. And there is McGuinness looking nice and strong. And so you mentioned, Dick Taylor, in that national cross country where you won, you went absolutely hard out from the gun, and to the point where you're almost blurring your vision. Did you have any sort of mental tactics to stay tough when you started to get into the meaty part of the race?
It was because I had such a good athlete. He said no one will go with you, and I thought, well, no one would be crazy enough to go with me. But it was a mental thing too, because I went so hard for so long, and I knew that once I hit the wall, I was going to be able to recover and then get into the race. So my recovery, I found I'd probably go in as quick as they were, but they weren't gaining on me.
Right. So yes, you'd opened up that gap.
I'd opened the gap. I'd done the damage, but I mean, I was a comfortable 300 yards in front of them. So. And
I guess that.
And I was getting calls to tell that no one was gaining on me, just in case something, So.
And what was it back then? 16K for the seniors?
No, I think
or
it was,
were we down
I think
to
it was
12?
12K.
Yep.
It was 12. Yep.
Yeah.
12K. Yep.
And so today the seniors will be doing 10K, which I think is a good distance in terms of 12K. You usually got the same one who's going to win the 10K will win the 12. So means the marshals and volunteers have a little bit less time out there in the weather. But here we can see that group just breaking up a little. It's still a group of, what have we got, 8 now in that group. But maybe those top 5 just pulling clear. So is that a little bit of a surge from number 1, 2, 3, our man Angus Sevier? Other boys to keep an eye out, Daniel Prescott, he came second in the South Island Champs and also second at National Secondary Schools. Ben Brunner was 5th in the National Secondaries. Angus Lowe's, the local Otago champion, and Jude Deaker is the Southland Cross Country champ. So definitely those 6 just starting to pull clear, and maybe that 4 just making a little inroads. So this is an interesting part of the course where you come back towards the club rooms, and it's nice extended downhill, and you can really get up on your toes and get moving in this section. And Dick, would you often approach different parts of the course with a different strategy, be prepared to push those hills, and what was your approach on the downhills?
Yeah, well, I was never a very good downhill runner, but obviously I may have been able to cope because it's not too steep going down. But some runners were better going downhill than uphill, but I just, just matter of looking around and trying to stay with whoever your opposition is and get yourself nice and relaxed. And, good. Now, nowadays, some of the courses were quite wet underfoot, and I was never very good in the wet going.
Right.
So nowadays, if I was running like today, running in these sort of conditions, well, as far as the course is concerned, it's not heavy going, so it'd be easy getting over the top of the grass when you're not sinking in.
All right, so there we flick back to get a good shot of the girls' race, and I can tell you that it is number 166. Kimberly Everson, who is running very well up the front there. I think we had Bo Ritchie there as well, and potentially Bryn Gordon. There is Bryn. So looking nice and in control there, Bryn. So she will have 2K left to run from here. So I believe that she is our race leader at the moment. We've also got Sophie Robb in there. I'll try and get a handle of exactly where our women are all placed. There we go. There's Bo Ritchie. So she's heading out onto her second lap. So
she's travelling well too, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's been a real revelation over the last 6 months. Has had some phenomenal performances, including winning the North Island Cross Country Champs, the under-18 division, and coming second in the under-20s 3,000 metres. So that's very phenomenal as a youngster. Also got good set of wheels for the 815. So going about her work very well. got the gloves on, which is often a good idea when things are cold. For some reason, the blood wants to go everywhere in your body except to your hands, and you can end up with those chilly fingertips. But it continues, this pack of 6 men, and our athlete number 131 just trying to stay on. That's Angus Lowe from North Otago. And we've got Jack Erickson in there. We've got Ben Brunner, who's been featuring a lot. We've got Daniel Prescott. And wearing the bright yellow of Port Hills Athletics is Angus Sevier, running really well. And look, at this age, under 16s, I kind of joke because this is the era where you can have 6-foot-something athletes and you can have 4-foot-something athletes, depending on who sort of developed first and where you are in your development. And so it's often hard to compare ages because each year things sort of chop and change. And it's one of the reasons why as a sport we're trying to focus more on the participation of the sort of junior ranks through high school and less about the national titles. But yeah, it's certainly that emphasis of staying athletic, staying in the sport, enjoying the experience, and not being overly concerned with the exact competition, but getting the most out of yourself is definitely the thing that you're looking for each time you head out. Now, there's been a bit of a separation in that top 6. You can see things just spreading out a little bit, and there's Bo Ritchie, so she's confirmed in the lead, wearing those famous colours of Hamilton Hawks. And there's definitely been a big surge, so these boys are into the last kilometre now of the race, and this is where things get tough. And as a former Lydiard man yourself, Dick Taylor, this must be the time of the race that you cherish, is where all those miles pay off and where that strength comes to the fore.
Yeah, very much so, and I think people make a move somewhere. I think if I had coaching any of these young ones today, I'd be make your move on the hill.
Yeah.
That's a good time mentally to get people to
Yeah.
try to go for it on the hill. Because I said before, you recover once you get over the top of it.
Yeah.
Because everyone's be under pressure now. So, just who's the one who can cope with it the best.
And obviously the Lydiard way goes through those sort of phases of your base mileage, aerobic conditioning, and then you go into that hill phase where you're doing a lot of hills, and so I guess that builds not only the fitness, but also that confidence of knowing you can attack the hills and recover and come back and do it again. Yeah,
I think so too. And I think the good hill runners normally thrive. Good hill runners are normally, and you end up getting good cross-country runners because they, particularly some hills on the course, they kind of dig in.
Now we've got some big movement here. And I'm trying to pick up exactly that number on our lead man, but I know that Angus Sevier is in second place. Is that Daniel Prescott in third? We'll need to confirm as they get closer, so apologies. I'm not quite picking up the
hard to pick it up.
Club singlet.
Yeah.
It could be Jack Snedden from Otatia.
Travelling well.
Oh, it's Jack Erickson from ACA. So he's put in a big surge, and this is the downhill section of the course. So if you can make your move, it's a good place to make your move because it's all downhill running. There is a headwind, but it does look like Jack Erickson out of Auckland City Athletics is going to claim it. He looks over his shoulder, and I think the other two won't be able to catch him. He's really put the hammer down in this last kilometre, blew apart this field of 6 runners, and now it's all about Jack Erickson. He's going to take the title for the boys under 16, and a great finish here for Daniel Prescott, and then Angus Sevier in third place. So fantastic running by those boys, because it was neck and neck with 1K to go. We had that big pack of about 6 athletes, and look at this great finishes here. One of our local North Otago boys. Always good to see, and this is one of the things I love about cross country, is not only are you fighting for your own best performance, you've also got team performances on the line, so every little place that you can eke out is important for those team results. But great scenes here as we see Jude Deaker finishing off his day from Queenstown Athletics. He's made the drive across to the coast, and here we go. Bo Ritchie proved once again she has an incredible pair of wheels and an incredible engine to get her around this 4K course. She's going to come down the hill and claim yet another national title. So brilliant result there, as we also see Lucas Huia come through, Cooper Whiteman of Selwyn Athletics, and big finish here from our Caversham athlete Harry Summers. He's just going to zip past Bo Ritchie, but Bo Ritchie won't mind, because she's going to take out the under-16 girls. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of her over the next few years, but what a run today to take out that competition. And not too far behind her, running a great race, was Bryn Gordon from Port Hills. So well done, Bryn. She will take out second place. And here's Sophie Robb out of Auckland. She's run a good race with the gloves on, as you'd expect from an Aucklander coming down, down to the south. But great result there. There was our top 3 women, and fielding Moa Harriers. I think that was Courtney Fitzgibbon coming through for 4th place. Big top 4. So now, Dick, if you can remember back to your high school years, what sort of positions were you picking up when you were competing, or was running your main sport?
Yeah, because I was in boarding school, we had a compulsory run every morning, and I used to try and beat the older guys.
Yeah.
When I was a third former.
Yeah.
But
9 for those younger listeners. Yeah.
So then we go training after school around Timaru or down on the Centennial Park. But, you know, I was lucky as a 15-year-old. I had the fastest time in the world over a mile.
Really?
4:18.6 is 15.
Wow.
So I thought one day I'd like to be a good miler, maybe.
Yeah.
With all the tradition of Snell and
Yes, yeah.
Halberg and all that, and not knowing that it was going to end up being 10,000. Because, you know, I like the mile distance. I love the half-mile.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow. And any words of advice that you'd give for those young athletes who are competing today, or maybe just watching from home and thinking, look, I'd love to one day race in a Commonwealth Games or a World Cross Country, and you know, what are some tips that you would give to a young person with dreams of going all the way?
Well, I just think it's a good stage of life. They're young, and you know, the old adage, I suppose, listen to your parents, listen to your coaches, listen to your teachers at school, and just keep at it, because one day, as you're saying, a whole 6 months and 12 months, it makes a big difference in someone you know, developing and that sort of thing. You know, someone who, you know, you run against, say, this year, and they beat you, but next year you can probably beat them or have a chance of beating them. So there's always that wee bit of a personal incentive to there. And that's where I like having team events. You know, you may not be good enough to win the race, but it's very important. You could get a reasonably good place, which could help to win the team. So that's another thing too, which is good.
Brilliant. Well, Dick Taylor, it's been an absolute privilege having you in. 1974 Commonwealth Games 10,000 metre champion, and still very much passionate about the sport, and some wise words for our young ones listening. And look, the Olympic Games have proven again, we've already won 2 medals again over there in Tokyo, and some top performances over there, and a whole heap of young ones who would love to book their ticket to Tokyo or the next to Paris, and the next games after that as well. So thanks, Dick. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to be back shortly because the senior men's, senior women's 10K is coming right up. See you soon.
Beauty.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
We're proud of our culture, one nation, one team.
Jenny and Holmes is proud to be part of the team behind New Zealand's Olympic dream. As our athletes give their all to earn the fern in Tokyo, Jenny is with them all the way.
We're proud to own our Jenny and home. We're proud to own our Jenny and home.
Well, kia ora whanau, welcome back to the 2021 New Zealand cross-country champs here at the Chisholm Links Golf Course in Dunedin. My name is Hayden Sherman and I'm joined in studio by Jason Cameron. Wow, what a day we've already had. We've had sunshine, we've had wind, we've had rain, but boy, have we had some good racing.
Yeah, the races have just been quick fire, haven't they? They've just been going like dominoes. We're already at the last race of the day, and it looks like it's going to be... The excitement will continue.
Yeah. Now, that was an absolute privilege to have Dick Taylor in there. I'd say that's one of my commentary highlights, career highlights, having a legend like that. And it's one of the things, when you come to a New Zealand athletics event, pretty much you can look around and say Olympian, former world record holder, gold medalist, national champion 20 times over. It's really special walking around an event like this. And chances are, if you go up and talk to someone and just ask them, tell me a bit about your athletics background, they'll just have so much wisdom and so many stories to share. So I love this community, and so great.
It's
rubbing shoulders with legends.
Definitely one of the epic moments in New Zealand sport, and if you're in that sort of probably 40 to 60 year age group, you remember it very well.
Yeah.
I think I was there actually with my parents on that day, sitting in the stands as a 6 or 7 year old or whatever I was, but he's an inspiration still.
Wow. So there we go. There's the start list, the senior men, and boy, talk about inspiration, because there are some talented, hard-working, speedy boys lining up in this one. We have Austin Carter, Jono Jackson, Will Leary, David Lee, Ronan Lee, James Marsh, Matthew Taylor, Sam Walden, Daniel Belchin, Christopher Dryden, Harry Ewing, William Little, Connor Melton, Tom Mulai, Thomas Richards, Daniel Roswell, Ayrton Shadbolt, Caden Shields, Josh McLeod, Harry Dixon, Daniel Perfrim, Finn Malloy, Samuel Bremer, Ollie Chignell, Russell Green, Thomas Hadley, Kirk Madgwick, Blake Miller, Leon Mahara, Jared Monk, Oliver O'Sullivan, Nathan Shanks, Logan Slee, Jana Staffenberg, Julius Staffenberg, Michael Sutton, Thomas Boyd, Liam Chesney, Daniel Jones, Seamus Kane, and Max Karamanolis. That's quite a lineup. And we've also got the women going in the same race. So we have Bridget Dennehy, Olivia Gold, Anika Grogan, Laura Nagle, Catherine Kemp, Sabrina Grogan, Anne McLeod, Angela Petty, Eva Pringle, Jessica Schofield, Laura Smith, Sophie Hicks, Liliana Braun, Maya Irving, Jennifer Walker, Sarah Douglas, Kerry White, Ellie Campbell, Amelia Harris, Susanna Lynch, Ruby Muir, Sarah Reisman, and I've got to tell you, Jason Cameron, I don't know which event to be more excited about, the men's or the women's, because they've both just got our absolute domestic distance running superstars, and talk about depth and quality of opposition. It's just going to be a fantastic race, men's and women's. I don't know who to call.
Well, I'll put you on the spot, Hayden. Don't sit on the fence. Who's your top three, men and women? Give it to me now.
If I could share a photo of my notes, because in both events I've got about 14 names that I've written down as potentials for the top three. So let me just keep it simple as we kick off into the 2021 New Zealand cross-country champs, senior men, senior women. 5 laps of this 2K course around the Chisholm Links 10K. Look at that man, Ollie Chignell, sporting the moustache. He will want to claim his home territory, but it looks like it's a nice quick start there. Getting up nice and strong is Daniel Belchin. So he's prepared to make an honest race of it. But yeah, I was going to say, it really is in the women's race. The South Island champ and the North Island champ, I believe, are going to go head to head, and let's see where they're placed. There's one of them, Susanna Lynch.
She's pretty relaxed already.
And the other one, Catherine Camp, the Cantab, so the South Island champ versus the North Island cross-country champ. And look, let's see if the likes of Laura Nagle, Ruby Muir, maybe Angie Petty, we've got Sarah Douglas, Anika Grogan, Maya Irving, Kerry White. All of these women have had national medals or national titles and featured very strongly. But look at that big bunch of boys leading the way up the hill.
And Dan Belchin, he was a silver medalist in 2019 at Upper Hutt. There in the senior men's, multiple times New Zealand medalist over a range of distances. So
2 times cross-country silver medals. So I was talking to Jono Jackson earlier, and he was saying, you know, the number of times I've come second and third in this competition. He's won it once. He was second behind a guest Australian who was also taking part. But yeah, a lot of these boys will be very hungry. I remember back in 2019 it was Cam Graves who took that competition out. Now he's not here this weekend, and neither, of course, is Hayden Wild, our new bronze medalist in the triathlon at the Olympics, who absolutely dominated the cross-country challenge here this time last year. But look, number 409, I believe he's the man to watch, Ollie Chignell.
Yeah, he's definitely got the pedigree. You know, sensational season on the track over summer. Got his PBs down to under 4 minutes for the mile, so he is in that elusive sub 4 minute mile club. He's a sub 8 minutes 3,000 metres, 13:36 for 5 and 28:48 for 10k. So he's a natural cross country runner, free flowing, easy mover. He's won this title before in the mud, but he's on his home course. He'll be hard to beat today.
Oh, there we go. There's Laura Nagle, Catherine Camp just behind her, and that's Susanna Lynch wearing the Wellington colours on the right. So it looks like the women are paying close attention to each other. Now, here they go through 1K. That's one of the Grogan sisters, or I assume they're sisters. They might be cousins.
And the way this race is set up, I mean, it's, you know, with the women running in with the men, it's got to actually help the women that are wanting to push the pace along. There is a bit of history beckoning today, because we did see, yes, in the media release put out by Murray McKinnon there, that Catherine Camp, she's the 800 metre New Zealand champion. The last time a woman won the double in terms of winning the 8 and the cross country in a calendar year was way back in 1970 with the late Sylvia Potts, who was a Commonwealth Games medalist. In 1970, she took out the 800 and the cross country in the same year. Can Catherine do it out there today? Yeah,
absolutely. And look, she's got the fitness, and we know she's got the speed coming from that 4.8 background, and now she's added that endurance to her training. So I think it's a question of can she keep with the other girls. It looks like Laura Nagle, the 2016 New Zealand cross-country champion, who's been coming back from surgery about this time last year. And there is Catherine Camp. And, yep, so it's Nagle and Muir running together. So Ruby Muir of Wellington. And then it's another 5 or 6 metres back to Susanna Lynch and Catherine Camp. So looking like Ruby Muir and Laura Nagle prepared to just push that pace along a little. So Laura Nagle won the cross-country title in 2016. She was bronze in the 5,000 metres at the New Zealand Track and Field Champs just back in March. But she's won 10K titles, 3,000 metre titles, 5,000 metre titles. She was only 4th at the North Island, so she feels like that fitness is just coming back. And I'm loving this big bunch of boys. No one's really willing to open it up yet. So it could come down to a kick potentially.
And the word on the course this afternoon is that Ruby Muir is also returning to her best form. Was a convincing winner of the Wellington Champs a couple of weeks ago. And, yeah, she's got real class about her. You know, she's got that ultra running background, former winner of the Tarawera Ultra 102 kilometre event, where she, I think the last time she won that, she had that epic tussle with Ruth Croft back about 6-7 years ago. So she's won the title before, back in 2017 up at Auckland at the Domain. So she should be in the mix today.
Yeah, so this pack all sticking together. And if I'm Ollie Chignell, I'm thinking, I know that I've got the wheels to burn off most of this pack. I'm the only guy with a 13:30-something 5K time. And so if that pack can stay together for as long as possible and don't let any of those endurance beasts out the gate. And another name there wearing number 392 is Matthew Taylor. So he's the North Island cross-country champ, but he's also won a bronze medal in the 1,500 metre national champs, and so he's got some wheels too, so he'll be happy if the pace doesn't get too hot. Chris Dryden on the outside wearing the arm warmers. Now he's another name we need to keep an eye on as we see the gaps appearing in the field, just getting these clear bunches. And I was sharing a shuttle with Chris Dryden on the way from the airport yesterday, and he was pretty convinced that there were 10, maybe 12 men who could all feature in this race. And he's proved right as we go through the first lap. Top 10 or 12 sticking together. I saw Jono Jackson just in that pack of 2 Aucklanders behind the main pack, and it continues. Ruby Muir, Susanna Lynch just tracking on the heels of Laura Nagle. And
yeah, we've got Kerry White in there, who's the 800 metre specialist from Tauranga. She's been running very impressively in some of the local races up in the Bay. She's the Waikato champion from a couple of weeks ago. So she's got about a 2:10, 800 metres. So she is getting stronger in early days, but she's definitely eating up that course.
And look, beautiful running conditions. You can see the sun's come out. And
Angie Petty there too.
Yeah, Angie
awesome.
Petty. So I'm picking that she's probably in, 7th or 8th there. So Angie will admit she's not in her best fitness at the moment. Been taking things relatively easy by her own standards, as we see Chris Dryden just making a little bit of a surge up that hill. So is that a bit of an attempt to break up this pack? Because I imagine Chris wouldn't want to leave this race to a sprint off with Ollie. But yeah, Angie Petty's been doing great work with young athletes in Christchurch with her husband Sam, and they've got a really good squad and a lot of those athletes taking part. She was a very busy coach at the New Zealand secondary schools, running around helping out her athletes. So Chris Dryden, Ollie Chignell, Matthew Taylor, they're all there.
Yeah, a couple of other names there in that bunch. Harry Ewing, the former Waikato athlete now running for Canterbury. So he's in there. He's sort of an 800-metre steeplechase exponent. And we also had the very tall figure there of Janis Stauffenberg, the triathlete from Otago, based in Wanaka. So he was the winner of the Otago champs a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, gutsy runner. He's a 14:30-ish runner at his best, but you know you can never count out those triathletes, as we saw from Hayden Wild and Eva Goodison taking out the wins last year at the cross country challenge. And so maybe just stringing out a little bit. I feel like Chris Dryden's gone to the front and said, look, it's in my best interest for this to be a little bit quicker.
And Ronan Lee, the Auckland champion, in the mix there as well, coached by Phil Clode. So he's in his first year in the senior ranks.
So is it those six just starting to edge away? Caden Shields, Matthew Taylor, Harry Ewing. We haven't talked much about him, but he will be another name to watch.
Yeah, Harry is a PB of about 152, 153 for 800 metres, so these guys will be aware of that. As we see the women come down the hill and Ruby Muir, good cadence in the legs. She's looking pretty relaxed at the moment, but it's pretty tightly bunched.
You can see Catherine Kemp just in the background there as well. So can she just inch her way up to catch these top four? And I'm sure those top four runners would not want her company as we get into the business in the last few laps. But Ruby Muir willing to set a good little pace here, because she's you got to say is the endurance beast of that bunch, with that experience in the ultra marathons and the marathons. But Kerry White in this little phase being prepared to just push it a little bit.
Yeah, and also we know how good a runner Susanna Lynch is down the hill. Apparently North Islands, that's where she made her moves down some of those steep descents at Spa Park. So she's a noted downhill runner, but we see Kerry White making a bit of a dab here to the lead. This is kind of surprising, but exciting to see someone new out the front who we didn't expect, more known as a middle distance runner. But it can be done. Could we see another 800-metre specialist mixing it there today and looking for a win?
Yeah, and this is always one of the dynamics when the men and women are racing together. Often the top woman will have a male or a bunch to run with, and so just running along there with Finn Malloy, and that's going to be that added boost for her, that she could go from 7k out and have a little bit of company. We are 7k out, aren't we? I'm a bit excited. I haven't been keeping track.
We might get our timing back on the screen. That will.
Yeah. So we've got 6 boys. That pack of about 12 at the start. It was even a pack of 12 coming through after the first lap. Now they are sticking together. Remember, it's 2k laps, and remember last year we had Hayden Wild running a time of 31 something for the 10k. So it will be good to track how that time compares. So it is Ollie Chignell leading the way, looking nice. It's Otago 1 and 2, Auckland 1 and 2, Canterbury 1 and 2. Can the Otago, the local team, dominate this event? Or do the North Islanders come and upset Matthew Taylor? And it is David Lee, isn't it, who is sitting there, or is it Ronan Lee? Pretty sure it's David Lee. So that bunch just pulling away. Now we scan back to our second bunch. That
was Dan Jones from Wellington there, a 2:17 marathoner who's Wellington champion from a couple of weeks back.
And now we see the women with Susanna Lynch and
Kerry White,
still
holding about a 20-30 metre gap at the moment.
So she's actually pulled away from Finn Malloy. So I talked about her maybe using him as a bit of a strategy to have some company, but she just goes right on by and that's a bold move to approach a solo race. So one of the things from a coaching point of view is when you start getting into that solo position, you attach a rope between you and someone 50, 100 metres up the road, and you just try and reel them in gradually. You need to stay focused on reeling them in, because you know that behind you there's a couple of women who can work together, take turns into that wind, and that can save them a lot of energy. And when it comes down to the last lap, that energy could be all important. So there you can see she's got a carrot out there. That is Blake Miller.
And another carrot. Possible world cross-country selection for the winner of this race as well. So yeah, Kerry was in Rotorua about a month ago with a training group from North Harbour Bays doing a session of 1Ks, and she said to me that she's doing a little bit more distance work this winter, just trying to increase her volume a bit more to improve her middle distance running. She's showing today that she's got some distance potential there as well. So
there was Caden Shields, World Marathon representative from Doha. And look, this is a big move from the Tuatago boys, really laying it down. And that group of 6 has now become 4, with Chris Dryden struggling to stay on it. But these 3 looking pretty comfortable. We've got Jana Stauffenberg, the triathlete. We've got Matthew Taylor, the North Island cross-country champ. And then Ollie Chignell, who really, for the last 12 months or so, has asserted himself as one of the absolute premier distance runners in New Zealand, not just domestically, but also, there was a time there when he broke 4 for the mile for the first time back in February in Wanganui, where we were thinking, look, could this boy book himself a slot in the 5,000 metres to Tokyo? So he's on that cusp of selection for international events. I'm sure that he will be eyeing up World Cross, Commonwealth Games next year. He's still a young man in his early 20s, and he's really made a big move in this third lap, whittling this pack of 6 down to single file action, with Matthew Taylor the only one going with him at the moment. Stauffenberg looks like he is struggling to hold that tempo. Chris Dryden, who was neck and neck with Ollie for so long, is suddenly seeing Ollie run up that hill 40, 50 metres up the road from him.
Yeah, look, and these top 2 guys will know each other well. They're both coached by Chris Pallone out of Auckland. Pallone will be sitting in front of his live stream screen now, and wondering what's going to happen. Matt Taylor, well, we know he can run around 14.06, 14.08 for 5K, so he's handy as well. But that pedigree of Ollie Chignell, we know that he can run on the hard stuff. He won his first national senior cross-country in the mud in Wellington in 2018, where it was probably the muddiest course I've ever seen, and he just seemed to float over it for 10 kilometres. So, he hasn't raced a lot this winter, but we know that what he's capable of, and you can see he's stretching it out now. And Matt's just having a quick look back to see where the opposition are, but they're clear 1 and 2 at the moment.
This really looks like a big planned move there from Ollie. He's gone from, about 5.5K out. It's a long way to go to home.
And it is for Kerry White too, because she is really throwing down the gauntlet and saying, if you want to beat me, girls, today, you're going to have to come with me. And this is really surprising. But she's running so strongly. She has those gloves on. Never seen her running gloves before. It's a little bit warmer out there. There we see Anika Grogan coming into the mix as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we haven't talked much about Anika, but she is into second place now. So
she's a great 1,500 metre 5K runner. So 10K is a bit further than her range. Her parents told me earlier this afternoon, but she's been training well. Another from Paul Hamlin's squad at North Harbour Bays.
And big shout out to the North Harbour Bays, the Bays Babes, as they call them. You can look them up on Instagram. And they're doing a great work just getting that teamwork approach. They've got a team that is basically got a stranglehold of the New Zealand road relays. women's title. And look at this from Ollie.
Two laps to go.
But yeah, just more proof at the strength of female distance running in New Zealand. It's really, really exciting. Often we've had these sort of just little dry periods where the ranks get a bit thinner, but they're not thin right now. There's a lot of very speedy young women in the country right now. And Ollie, boy, he's looking comfy.
Sure is. I think, yeah, we're going to see the class of Ollie Chignell on show already today. And, you know, you had to look at those performances in the last 12 months and say he was going to be probably throwing it down today. And Matt Taylor's still there, but and who's in third? Hayden, was it?
I think we had Jonas Stauffenberg in
yep.
third. Yeah.
So I remember him going out pretty hard last year in the cross-country challenge, sort of retreated back through the field. So he'll be looking to make amends today and, yeah, have that strength to get through the 10K and perhaps get a medal in the New Zealand Champs, which would be fantastic as a multi-sport triathlete.
So beautiful scenes here. The rain's done and dusted for the time being. We had that big old squall come through just as you rejoined our coverage at about 1:20, but no longer. We're in sunshine. Still cool, and they won't be complaining about the heat like they are in Tokyo. And poor Camille Buscombe, who'll be going tonight running in the 10,000 metres, will have a whole nother story. Right opposite ends of the weather spectrum over there. So best wishes to Camille if you're watching this, where the country is right behind you, and same for Malcolm Hicks and Zane Robertson, who are to run in the morning in the marathon. Wishing all those Kiwis proudly wearing the singlet all the very best. I'm sure you guys and girl will do this black singlet proud, and we wish we could be over there cheering you along, but I'm going to be glued to the TV, that's for sure. So here we are, Matthew Taylor in second place, and then it's Chris Dryden actually, so he's moved up past Stauffenberg. So that's a big move from Chris, but look at this from Ollie Chignell. I mean, he knows this course so well. He's had plenty of opportunity to test it out. Last year he was third behind Sam Tanner, Olympic 1500 metre runner, and Hayden Wild, and I'm sure he's been thinking about this national title for many months and thinking, I want to get my hands on that. Didn't make it to the Tokyo Games, but this is my Olympics right here, right in my hometown of Dunedin. So Kerry White looking good. Nice and comfy. She's definitely into her rhythm. So we had that good bunch of women, about 4 or 5 of them earlier on, and then she put in that surge, what was it, about 2 to 3 Ks ago. And I'm totally losing track of where we are in the laps. Is this last lap?
Yeah, I think it is.
This is last lap. I don't know if we can bring up that clock again, and maybe we can.
No, it won't be last lap. No, it should be
on till the end of the
another couple to go.
End of the race, so we can keep tabs on splits. Because the other bragging right is Ollie Chignell potentially trying to get after Hayden Wild's time from last year.
Yeah, it'll be in the back of his mind, and 3 minute 10 Ks. 10-second Ks, that's moving.
Do you have his time there?
31:36 or thereabouts from last year.
Right.
Remembering that there's about 300 to 400 metres of incline in this course as well. So it's just wears you down. It breaks you down. It's going to, build up that lactic acid. But doesn't look like it is for Ollie at the moment. He's just flowing along so nicely.
It was so fascinating talking to Dick Taylor, who, when he won the National Cross back in '73, Arthur Lydiard's instructions were to him, I want you to run as fast as you possibly can until you can't anymore. Your muscles are going to ache. You're going to feel sore. your vision will start to blur, and when your vision starts to blur, that's the signal to start backing off, and that's what he did, and he just sort of settled into his steady state, and won. Now, looking like he will pull off a national title. He's got, 2.5K left to run now. Ollie Chignell, man, he's a smooth runner.
He's just eating
beautiful
up the ground. He's so compact. And he'll be loving the downhill section here where he's able to just capitalise on some of those big gains that he's got earlier on in the lap.
And as a coach yourself, Jason Cameron, what are we sort of looking at, like technique-wise? Like we say, like look smooth. He's running well. What do you really love about this boy's technique?
Oh, I think that head's pretty stable on the shoulders there, so there's no rocking going around on with his. So he's obviously not, in too much discomfort. That the arm action is nice and relaxed by the side, not sideways torso kind of movement. His cadence is great. Hill recovery's still pretty prominent, so he's full of running. But we know he's a strength athlete, so expect him to really bring it home hard here and open up this to potentially a win of over a minute like Hayden last year.
Absolutely, and I'm just seeing him fly past our window, so I will set my stopwatch going, see if we can pick up a split back to second and third. But my mind flashes back to watching Malcolm Hicks back in, I want to say it was like 2013, 2014, winning the cross-country title. So it's about 15 or 16 seconds back to Matthew Taylor in second place, and then about 28 seconds back to Chris Dryden, and then it's a good little gap back to the other Cantab. And I was just saying about, it's Caden Shields, so he's actually done a good surge back into the race.
Caden's coming off the back of a great marathon in April where he ran 2:16 in Sydney, so look, he's been to the World Cross Country Champs, and he'll know this course. He ran in the Otago Champs, finished second to Giannis. He's not going to give it away. Chris Dryden's going to have to keep that pressure on right the way to the finish.
See Harry Dixon there in the foreground coming through to get the bell. There's no bell, but that's what we usually say when there's one lap to go. Jono Jackson, former winner of this event.
There's Dan Jones.
Yeah, those guys will be looking for top 10, so don't think that they're not fighting for anything. They'll be still gunning for top 10s and team placings. We just saw Angie Petty on screen, and then flick over to Ollie Chignell.
Sabrina Grogan there, New Zealand mountain running champion representative.
So we're going to see Ollie just tear down this hill. Yeah, you say Sabrina Grogan, and we've also got Laura Smith there, first year running in this event. But here he comes, the tongue's out because he knows he's got it in the bag. Just got to get down this hill, and then he's got one more climb in the back half of the course. But it's only 1,200 metres to go. I mentioned to you before, Jason, that once you're kind of inside 1 mile to go, you're kind of in that, it's one more mile rep to do. You do those sorts of workouts every other week, so you know that you can smash out a mile. And so there's always that comfort.
I just wondered whether we saw a little smile there. It might have been a grimace from Ollie, but sort of like the Damien McKenzie pre-conversion kick, but I may be mistaken. But look, this is an imperious run from Chignell today. He's really, stomping his class on this field. And another hometown boy from Otago. Geez, they breed them tough down here. There's some great places to train, Flagstaff. Logan Park lapping out the track there. World-class place to train and prepare as a distance runner. Kerry White still dominating this women's race. This is, a big surprise for me, but I'm so excited for her. She is just Smashing it.
I mean, of all the 12 names that I wrote down in the women's competition, I wrote notes for, I didn't include Kerry White. So she's proving me wrong. So thanks for that, Kerry, upsetting all my planning, late night planning.
And a busy lady too. She was telling me she's doing a master's degree and working part-time and running. And yeah, maybe she was expecting to put something out there like this today, but...
So her best performance at the National Cross is third. Looking on track to at least improve on that, if not take home a national title. And as you say, she's currently juggling, running, working and studying. And many of those listening to this will understand what that's like and what a challenge that can be to balance everything. I was talking to Dick Taylor earlier, who was saying he was doing 200 mile a week, 500 press-ups a day. And if that's not a heavy workload for an amateur athlete to handle, I don't know what is.
But big appetite for work.
Yeah. Got him a Commonwealth gold. And
the amber liquid too.
Yeah. So there he goes. There she goes, Kerry White. She'll have one more lap to go.
Well, this would be some double for Waikato Bay of Plenty if Kerry could take out the senior women's, remembering that Hannah Gapes won the under-20 women's race earlier in the day, so a double victory in the junior women's and senior women's would be some accomplishment for the Waikato Bay of Plenty region. And here's Ollie coming down the big sweeping right-hander, and he's heading towards the finish line now, Hayden.
He is. I can just see him outside the window. We're at the club rooms, which means he can also see the finish line at the club rooms. He'll be able to see it here. It's about 250 metres to run. There's no way anyone's getting past him, because I wouldn't be surprised if his lead is around about 200 metres long. One quick look over the shoulders confirms what he already knew. He's got this national title in the bag.
It's going to be a really close, similar time to what Hayden did last year as well.
Yeah, I wonder if we can get that clock on the screen. What a run this boy's having. He's gone sub-4 for the mile. He's run 13:36 for the 5K. He's definitely a name to keep an eye out for, maybe for qualification for the Commonwealth Games next year. Certainly puts up his hand as book me first on the plane to the to the World Cross Country Champs, because here is your National Cross Country Champion, Ollie Chignell from Otago on his home turf, defends his home turf. There it is. High five, double thumbs up. Well done, Ollie Chignell. There we go. And Matthew Taylor, the North Island champ. What a year he's having. He sort of burst onto the scene a few years ago with a bronze medal in the men's 1500. He's going to take silver. And he was telling me that he's never really done cross-country, or hasn't done it for several years. And Chris Dryden, this will be a big one for him. This will mean a lot. He's had to come from behind. He's passed a few boys to get into that third bronze medal position. Here he is. That trip down from Christchurch was well worth it. He'll take home the bronze. And again, put his hand up for the selectors. Say, take me to Bathurst.
Caden Shields in 4th place. Yeah, that's his first major medal in the senior ranks for Chris Dryden, a former New Zealand junior representative in the 10K in 2018, as we see Kerry White. Harry Ewing coming in for 5th in the senior men's.
He's had a great run. That's a wonderful performance. And look, these top 10 performances mean a lot.
Ronan Lee, Daniel Belchin, 5th and 6th.
Look at Ollie.
6th and 7th.
He's a happy boy. It looks like he's just done a little tempo run. Little fartlek session. And there's Stauffenberg, is it? All right. Harry Dixon coming in, closely followed by Jono Jackson and a fast finishing Sam Walden in the Auckland singlet.
Now we saw Tom Mulai from University of Canterbury coming in, Daniel Jones, the marathoner from Wellington, Scottish, representing the Wellington Centre.
Boy, when you think of the quality of these athletes, I mean, Dan Jones, 2:16 marathoner, coming through for, 10th place potentially. And 1K to go for our women's leader. She has run fantastically.
Yeah, she really just took the race by the scruff of the neck, didn't she? Just put it down as we see Catherine Camp, Canterbury champion, New Zealand 800 metre champion, making her way through the last lap.
Yeah, not to be her day. She won't back up her South Island cross-country title and Canterbury title with the title here at the National Champs.
That was Kirk Matchwick coming across the line for Otago senior men's.
Ollie Chignall removes the spikes. A successful outing in those spikes. And there's Angie Petty.
Bridget Dennehy on the left from North Harbour Bays.
And also Sarah Douglas from Southland, from the Queenstown Athletics Club. Just there in the middle. It's a good little pack to bring them home over the last kilometre. And Logan Slee finishing up his run. So they're going to hit that last steep hill, swing around and have 1K to go. Big finish there from Max Karamanolis.
800 metre man from Wellington.
Austin Carter there from Hill City, another of the locals who have turned out. And look, another big shout out to the Otago athletics and cross country crew here who have done a wonderful job, not only this year but last year in very trying circumstances. The country was in lockdown level 2. Auckland couldn't make it. They were in lockdown level 3, and they still managed to pull off a wonderful event last year, and they've backed it up with a just fantastic national champs this year. So great to be able to put the official stamp on it and be handing out national titles here in Dunedin at this beautiful course. It's just this golf course is made for cross-country running. It is absolutely spectacular, and so a big thank you to the golfing community here in Dunedin. If you're in this neck of the woods, you can say thank you by coming and doing a round of golf here. It's a good course, good links course. Stays dry 365 days of the year. And look at this.
A coming of age for Kerry White. She has emerged today as a force in New Zealand cross-country running. We know she can run 800 metres on the track, and look at her, just eating up that ground in the last 300 metres.
So here she is, Kerry White, 27 years of age, out of the Hamilton City Hawks club, who have already had a title today already, with little Bo Ritchie coming through. But here it is, senior women's champ, Kerry White. She will be your national cross-country champ. She has won a fantastic race. With the last 7K, she made that big move, broke up that pack of about 6 women, and has just pulled away and had to run so much of this race solo.
And I think that's Anika Grogan coming through for the second place silver medal. She will be stoked.
It is. Brilliant run from Anika Grogan, the 25-year-old.
Coached by Paul Hamlin.
Yeah, and part of that really strong North Harbour Bays squad of women who are transforming the scene of female distance running in New Zealand. And this girl can go home a very happy young woman after claiming her first national title in cross-country. Massive result. She's come third in this event before, but this is the golden glow of a winner.
And these two girls actually trained together a month ago in the training camp at Rotorua. They were dueling it out over a session of 1Ks. And who's going to get third? Ruby Muir possibly, returning to some great form after winning the National Cross Country Champs in 2017. This is fantastic to see Ruby back, running strong. She'll be delighted. Her husband, Christian Day, will be sitting in Wellington Feeling very satisfied with that performance from Ruby. Well done.
So that rounds out our top three. Kerry White takes it ahead of Ruby Muir in third place and Anika Grogan in second. There's Maria Hassan. And that's Finn Malloy, who acted as pacemaker for the women's leading group early on. And so finishing off his day, getting in just before the rain arrives, really. Looks like the weather's clouding in. So I am going to go on a little mission to try and track down our winners as Catherine Camp comes through for a fourth place, am I right? So the New Zealand 800 metre champion cannot this time around add the national cross-country title to her calendar year as Peter Snell and Sylvia Potts have done in the past. But great run nevertheless to finish top 5 in this field, and big finish.
Bridget Dennehy finishing well. Angie Petty, Sarah Douglas. They're running together just a few moments ago, and Bridget striding it out.
I mean, that's going on the CV, isn't it? Pulling away from Angie Petty in the last few hundred metres.
Doing some wonderful coaching in Canterbury now, Angie.
Yeah, and here we go, just over the hill from Queenstown. Sarah Douglas finishes off a great top 10 for her. I'm going to grab the mic and head out there and see if we can find our champions.
Sabrina Grogan coming into the last 50 metres now. The doctor from Timaru Hospital. She's been working some big hours, I'm told, by mum and dad, but one of New Zealand's top mountain running exponents out there doing it today. Top 10 for Sabrina, New Zealand cross-country champs. Fantastic running. So we're just waiting, standing by, folks, for Hayden to get into position for the post-race interviews with Ollie and Kerry. And number 445, Ellie Campbell from Wellington, about to finish her 10K cross-country champs. Got all the races in. 434. Here's Anne McLeod from Canterbury. Good, strong performance from the Canterbury team today. They'll be close to the medals in the teams event. And crossing live now to Hayden for the interviews. We're good to go, Hayden.
All right, here we are with a very happy local, Ollie Chignell, national cross-country champion. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it's good. It's I don't think this course never gets any easier. Yeah. That's for sure. Yeah, I think you could run it 100 times and it's not going to get any easier. But no, I'm really happy with today. Stoked. Yeah, it's a great performance on from what I can tell, and I'm just happy with the way I executed my race.
Was it a game plan? Because there's a pack of about 12 of you, and I was kind of thinking maybe Ollie's going to wait till the last lap and just use that speed that you've got over the 5K and just own the last lap. But you went with about 5 or 6K up.
Yeah, I wanted to I sort of knew that whatever position I was in and wherever I was in the race, that I knew I had the tools to go out and win. Yep. And it was more just a plan of, those first 1 or 2 laps, just finding my feet, getting a feel for the course, and then, once I'd done that, just see how I go. And I ended up just moving to the front and just sort of pulling away, sort of similar to what I did when I won in Wellington, just a wee bit earlier this time. So, pretty much executed exactly how I wanted it to. So.
It was pretty epic. And Bathurst, is that in the back of your mind?
Yeah, definitely. there's a number of really big events next year. You know, you've got World Champs, Com Games, that kind of thing. So I'll definitely evaluate with Coach Pallone, and then we'll go from there.
And talking about world champs as it starts hailing, is the 5,000 metres the one that you're going for?
5,000, 10,000, we'll see. Yeah, there's
all right.
Yeah.
Well, go and get warm because we're just getting hailed and sleeted on. But good work, Ollie. Great run.
Cheers. Thank you so much.
Awesome. So the weather is unleashing, and we've got Kerry. I wonder if we try and find some shelter. Are we all good to maybe duck behind the caravan?
Yeah, sounds good.
Are you all good? Follow us. Okay. Should we come around here?
Oh my god. Nice hail.
So it's actually hailing out here. Things are seriously turning to custard. Can we squeeze in on here? All right. This is much more comfortable. Still not exactly tropical, but here I am with the national cross country champion who is fast getting very cold after a fantastic run. But how does it to be national champion?
It feels awesome. Like, I almost didn't really expect it. Like, I knew I was fit, but just to see how fit, it was really cool to test that. And I'm very happy with the result, obviously.
Yeah, and it looked like there was a group of you, maybe 5 or 6 early on, and then you just sort of pulled away and kept on going.
Yeah. So once I got up on them, I was like, okay, this pace, it feels good. And I was like, I'm still feeling good, so let's sort of keep pushing that pace. I was a bit nervous there. I wasn't going to be able to hang on to that. But we just kept sort of like rolling through each lap, and I was like, okay, let's just keep the momentum going, and managed to hold it off. So
awesome.
Really.
And before we let you go and get warm and dry, what's next on the cards for you? When can we expect to see more of you? Because obviously things are heading in the right direction.
Yeah. So there's been a bit of talk about road. I'm not the biggest fan of road, but I mean, with like my fitness right now, it would be silly not to give that a crack. Otherwise, so just set my focus back again on track and try to get those times down even more.
And 1500's the focus, or longer?
Yeah. So like I was focusing on the 8 for a while, but I was sort of got a bit stagnant there. So I was like, maybe we'll switch it up and try to get the 15. And I know maybe we'll try a 5K on the track and see how we go. So
brilliant. Well, in the sleet and hail, we'll let you go and get warm. But congratulations on that national title.
No, thank you. Yeah, really appreciate it. It's a good day for it.
Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into the coverage. Thanks. Of the action here at the 2021 National Cross Country Champs. It's been great to have your company here on Sky Sport Next. Be sure to share the link with your friends and family. Let's get some more eyeballs on this. And of course you can go back and watch it whenever you like. Hit that subscribe button. It's been wonderful having your company. My name is Hayden Sherman. With me has been Jason Cameron. We will see you at the next event. Ka kite anō.